Welcome, ladies and gents. For those that don't know, yesterday, well, the last few days in fact, CinemaCon's been going on. Now, CinemaCon is a pretty big deal. They debut a lot at CinemaCon. And one of the things they debuted, Warner Brothers, and Legendary, was the Dune Part 2 trailer. Now, we don't have the trailer, unfortunately. They saw fit not to release it online, which is disappointing, but hey, we can take a look at what people thought about the trailer, what the trailer description is, and what we can expect from the trailer. Now, we don't know whether this CinemaCon trailer will be the ultimate trailer or not, that we'll get, the sort of trailer one, but it's still interesting nonetheless, and it really does tease like an all-out blockbuster war, essentially. Now, I know a lot of people didn't really like Dune Part 1, I get it. A lot of people thought that it wasn't a complete movie, I get it. It wasn't. Literally was not a complete story. And therefore not a complete movie, unfortunately. But I myself liked Dune Part 1, and I'm looking forward to Dune Part 2. I think these are event films through and through, and I'm looking forward to it. So we'll dive into this today. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe, turn the bell notifications on. But we'll dive into this and just take a look. We covered some of the CinemaCon stuff last night over on my podcast. You can find a link to that down below in the description box, Mistakes Reviews Live Archives. But like I said, let's take a look. So, it's a Warner Brothers and Legendary co-production. I mean, it's a Legendary production. They do 75% and then Warner Brothers puts in 25% and then distributes it. Lots of people, unfortunately, give Warner Brothers too much credit. But it teases an epic war movie, which I think is what most people are looking forward to. I think that's what people want with this film. So Dune Part 2 is coming into focus with filmmaker Denis Villeneuve and stars Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya showing off a new trailer for the Warner Brothers and Legendary sequel at CinemaCon Tuesday. And this was a statement made by Villeneuve. Part 1 is more of a contemplative movie. Part 2 is an action-packed, epic war movie. It is much more dense. We went to all new locations. And then obviously they debuted the trailer, which they haven't put online, which is whatever, fine. I didn't want a feeling of repetition. It's all new sets. Everything is new. That's interesting because you'd think that they'd reuse some of the sets, but they're obviously happy to burn some cash, I guess. It is what it is. And then they say this. He also said that while 40% of the first film was shot in IMAX, 100% of this film was shot in IMAX, that's a pretty big sell if you like your IMAX. That's bloody good going. Like, really, really good going. In the first movie, Paul is a student, said Chalamet of his character. Paul Atreides. We really see Paul Atreides become a leader, become a redeemer of the Fremen people, in a sense. So the trailer looked epic in scope, with a centerpiece being Paul's first ride on a Sandworm, and preparing for a Chris knife battle with Austin Butler, who joins the cast as the notorious Fade Routher, who appears as a bold albino in the trailer. So, interesting. Villeneuve described franchise newcomer Butler's character as an Olympic sword master crossed with a psychotic serial killer. I'm looking forward to this, I really, really am. So the trailer concludes with Paul standing in front of thousands of Fremen, raising his hands to the cheering crowd. Other new cast members this time include Christopher Walken as the Emperor, Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan, Leia Seydoux as Lady Margot, and Sohila Yaqub as Shishakli, among others. So, yeah, look, I'm excited. I'm interested in this. I really, really am. Genuinely. Now, there was a little bit of it's not really much of a different one, to be fair. I mean, this is literally the trailer description. Trailer, it's epic in scope. The centerpiece of the trailer is Paul's first ride on a Sandworm, so just building up that stuff. And then obviously a fight, and then, Paul Atreides sort of lording over the Fremen people, as it were. I'm excited for this. I really, really am. I think this is going to be very good. I was actually really surprised with how much money Dune Part 1 sort of gross. I mean, 400 million globally. It's not bad. I mean, it's not actually good in terms of the budget, by the way. But to think of when it released and also day and date release on HBO Max, they nerfed it, but that's still bloody good going for the circumstances around it. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm really, really, really excited, actually, to see Christopher Walken as the Emperor. I think that is inspired casting. I really like Christopher Walken. We don't see him in enough stuff anymore. I think he got a bit sort of typecast as the guy, you know, with a weird speech pattern. But I am actually excited. And an epic war movie shot 100% on IMAX. Man, that's gonna be good. That is something to behold. 100% of the film shot on IMAX, and it's an epic war movie. The downside to that, and I'll just say this straight away, the downside to that though is if they rely too heavily on CG to make that work, because on IMAX with CG and a budget that, you know, may not be comparable to allowing CG to look great, I think could let itself down. But I will say, for the budget they did have for the first one, the CG was superb. And I think that goes hand in hand with the fact that they had a really, really good cinematographer, a long-time collaborator with Denis Villeneuve, if I remember rightly. It is Grieg, director of photography, Grieg Fraser, which is, yeah, someone who works with him very, very often. And you got Hans Zimmer working on the score. I wasn't majorly enamored with the score of the first one, but hopefully, because it's a war film, they'll sort of pick it up a little bit, and some of these pieces will be much more, I don't know, iconic, if you can sort of call it that. So there you have it, ladies and gents. Not much else really to go into. The trailer teased an epic war film. I think that's what most people want from this film. I think that'll sort of put people at ease who found the first one to be somewhat boring, which I get, I understand, but again, as he says, contemplative. This is a war movie now. So I think this will be really, really good. I still don't think we're going to get more in this series. I think that's it. I think that's it done. But what a great director and cinematographer team to bring this to the screen, even if this is probably going to be our only adaptation that we'll see again now. I can't imagine they'll do any more. But still, like I said, what a great one. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much, ladies and gents. Hit subscribe, give the video a like, and please do share it. Take care.